Hey everyone, my name is Carolyn, and you are watching the New Music Buzz, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Steve Van Doorn. Thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming down to our VANS corporate office here in Cyprus.
50 years,
Wow.
since 1966. When you were a little boy,
8 years old.
8 years old, did you have any clue how ingrained in American pop culture that your family brand would become?
No, I really didn't and stuff. It's kind of been a lifelong dream. Never had to fill an application out in my life. And, we just made shoes in the early days, and then the skaters adopted us in the mid-'70s, and Spicoli came out in the '80s, and Warped Tour came out in the '90s, and here we are 23 years later. And we're still plugging along, just trying to, met a great guy named Kevin Lyman who passion for music and had passion for skateboarding and action sports, and it was a good merge. And 23 years later, we're ready to, get 2017 rolling again with musicians. The nice thing is Kevin has given the opportunity for musicians all over the country and all over the world to come show their things on the Vans Warped Tours. 100 different bands play every day.
So tell me a little bit about the Vans Warped Tour for our viewers at home. How do you guys go into, I know that it probably has a lot to do with Kevin, but like deciding what independent artists or bands actually go on tour?
Yeah. I'm the shoe guy. Mm-hmm. He's a music guy. Him and creative artist, CAA, is another partner. And that's their job. That's kind of like the big puzzle. What locations, what dates, what bands. And so he's heavily at it. He'll have that all wrapped up, I'm sure, by early December, what's happening next year and what bands want to go on, because we have such great lists of musicians that have broken on the Vans Warped Tour. And we have partners like Journeys who have 800 to 1,000 stores that let everybody know what's happening out there besides our van stores. And so we've got, the locations for them to go in and find out about it, but Kevin's really got to set the tempo by finding out what his lineup's going to be, and that's an important factor.
Well, over 20 years, there has to be some of your favorite bands and groups that have actually hit it big. What are some of your favorite guys that have toured on Vans Warped Tour?
Well, we start off in the early days, and I miss all of the hard punk action stuff, from going from the Pennywises to the NoFX's, Bad Religions. One of my favorites was the Specials when, the guys came over and were on the tour for a couple of years. But in Germany, there was a band called Die Totenhausen. They were the biggest band over there. So when we went over to do Europe, because we've done Europe like 4 times, we've done Australia 4 times, Japan 3 times, and then the U.S. for 23 times. But as, years went on, we had, from Ice-T, we had, Katy Perry. But, the Blink-182s who are just still killing it today and stuff.
They're releasing some new music.
They were on, I was on their bus. They were on our bus, I guess, the early days. Kevin's bus I was on, and there they were. And I remember one time, the Pennywise bus broke down, so Fletcher was on with us, and we had those guys. It was quite an experience and stuff. But just some of my fondest memories of my whole life have been, on the Vans Warped Tour and touring with all these great bands and stuff. But, from the Newfound Glories to all of the new bands of today that come out and stuff, you hear their music in movies and say, hey, they were on the Vans Warped Tour, and they go out and just, create a new avenue for new musicians that want to come up. The ska bands of the Mighty Mighty Bosstones and Hepcats and things like that. I kind of miss that and stuff, that sometimes they'll get a little bit heavier metal and then punk, but Kevin's mixing it up really nice. This last year was really, really good
With the
tour.
Warped Tour, you guys are seeing the evolution of music over 20 years. I mean, that just must be, just another brick in the foundation of Vans.
It is, and it's part of, how do you get people that want to like your shoes? We knew action sports was working, but boys and girls both love music, and it's a good avenue for us to get in touch with teenagers. And the lowest price of any concert, when you hear of going out to these concerts and they're spending $600 for a weekend, and they can go and get a ticket to the Vans Warped Tour for $30-40, and then have to get the cost of the Ticketmaster and stuff. But it's still the lowest price and the longest tour going on. And if you add up our 500,000 to 600,000 kids every year for the last 20 years, there's nothing like it and stuff. So it's something special, and we want to keep it going for a few more years.
That is definitely one of those kids.
Yes. Yep. And I guess that's what keeps me young, is just hanging around with every day at 15 or 18,000 kids that come out to see the bands, and that's what it's all about. And Vans, we're not trying to go out and do anything but enable them to come and have a fun time at a concert that parents can take a child at 14 or 15 years old and feel like it's a safe place for them to come all over the country. It helped us grow as a brand because we were really centrically located in California, Florida, Texas, and now all of these other locations that the tour went to enabled us to go in there, and now we have stores in there, and we have our wholesale accounts that have stores all over the country and stuff, and worldwide. Helped us break into a lot of different places around the world.
Well, I want to talk about your footwear collaborations. I know Footwear News recently did an article basically saying the top 10 best Vans collaborations so far. You guys have done some work with some not only amazing bands like Motorhead and Metallica and the Bad Brains, but you guys are recently, even more recently, doing things with Disney and Star Wars and Peanuts and my favorite, Marc Jacobs, not Kenzo. Well, out of all of those collaborations, what are you most fond of and most proud of?
This Christmas, it's a Van Doren collection.
Oh!
I'd have some fun and got to design some shoes that are out in the stores right now. Skate High with a Skull Pirate, but he has candy canes and a Santa hat, and it says Ho Ho 5-0. So, but no, there's Marc Jacob, when you said he was one of the very first ones that we ever did. I'm kind of awed by some of the people that come to us, and that's the nice thing. It's normally an honor that they come to us and want to do a collaboration with Steve Mills, that does all of our Volt accounts, and it's amazing of all the different brands that honor us by saying we want to have the real slip-on. We want to have you do something with the real slip-on, which is Vans and stuff. And I thanked Sean Penn years ago when we were doing Dogtown and the Z-Boys, because he narrated for us. I thanked him for making my life easy by being Spicoli and getting our checkerboard shoe out there. Because sometimes they rate all the shoes of all time. Of course, you have like the Air Jordan #1, but slip-on was like number 6. Mm-hmm. And then old school was like number 9 or 10. And that's, when you think of all the different brands and how big they are. But more and more come up all the time. Look forward to the new ones. They normally don't tell me because I blab too much and get things out there and stuff. But just saw Toy Story come out this last week.
I know. I heard that they were practically sold out in every store.
Yeah, it is, and I'm looking forward to more coming in so they can get them for Christmas and stuff like that. Got my grandson a pair, and some other people that I saw over the weekend had to go in and buy themselves a pair. You have to be quick and get in there. But our team does a great job. Our product people inside of getting to the ideas that are brought to us and then making them happen and getting them out there and stuff. And hope to see more music ones. Fear of God, I think, was a brand that went out. I couldn't get a pair. I went into the PacSun store, and they had a line on Friday night. They're coming out Saturday morning, and they were gone. So I'm actually making a Cat B, which is ordering my own for a friend that called me out of the blue and wanted the pair for his grandson. And so things like that. And then they're just a limited edition. And, so the PacSun stores got them in and blew them out before they even opened up the store.
Listen to this. Steve Van Doren has a hard time getting his hands on a pair of Vans.
I was shut out, but I know how to go get some made. So I called up and got some going in China right now and stuff. And something like, even a collaboration of the Half Cab, Steve Caballero's shoe. It's 25 years old next year. So Stevie's coming in to our product sales meeting in about a week and a half or 2 weeks and stuff. So I'm making some special things up in the factories just so I can have from 92 to 2017 on the bottom of the shoes and stuff. So it'll be kind of fun.
Well, Vans has also been, they've been a staple in, obviously, the skateboarding industry. And I know that you've seen the evolution of that, where, it was just a bunch of kids, rolling around on, decks in the backyard. And now they're like 13 and 14-year-olds walking away with $1 million contracts. What are your thoughts on that?
I want to come back as a kid. But I actually was never a skater. I just brought them everywhere and stuff. But it's amazing. I had a young boy, and there's an article in the Register coming out tomorrow, and I gave him some quotes yesterday. But this young boy came up with this idea where you have broken skateboards. Well, what he did was he cut it off. He measured his locker at school, because you can't take and put your skateboard in the locker. Right. But so he's taking broken boards and then making them so you can ride them, and they're just shorter out of used boards. So it's broken half. It's only about this long, but it fits in his locker, so he can skate around and put it in his locker and go on. He doesn't get in trouble at school and stuff like that. So I said, what a great idea. He's an innovator. You don't have to have the same board size everywhere as long as you're skating and stuff. It's exercise. Think of all the kids today. They're just sitting in there playing with their tablets and everything else and games and stuff. So the surfing, skateboard, BMX, motocross, gets them outside. Vans Warped Tour, get in the pit. you know, and you know, it's just exercise, and it's good for girls and guys.
Well, what do you anticipate for Vans in the next 50 years?
Right. Well, I anticipate the number one selling shoe in 1966 was our blue authentic shoe.
My personal favorite, to be honest.
And I don't know what it was, my dad. We didn't have black in our line the first like 5 or 6 years, but it's black actually, but it's an authentic shoe. So I'm thinking, you know, 50 years from today, my grandson will be 53, and he'll be cruising around probably in a slip-on or an authentic and stuff. There'll be innovations in the wearability for outdoor weathering, lightweightness. We've got some great new things with our lightweight shoes and stuff in our outdoor statements that's going on. So when you're in Minnesota in the wintertime, we would just shut it down. We didn't sell any shoes up there. But today we have new products and stuff. But I think Vans will always be on the front edge of not following, but leading. Mm-hmm. And where do you get the leading ideas? It's from the youth, the people. They're going to tell you what they want to do. And our shoes are a canvas. Art, through our custom culture and getting to high schools and letting them show what they would do with the shoes. Just follow what the trends are that's out there and stuff and listen to the young people, and I think we'll be fine for music, art, as well as action sports.
Well, thank you so very much, Steve.
Pleasure. My pleasure. And if you get a chance in 2017, stop by, say hi to me. I'm not on as many tour stops as I used to be and stuff, but the last couple of years I at least get to get out there about 20-25% of the time.
Thank you so much, everyone. This is Steve Van Dorn. I'm Carolyn. I'm here at the Vans headquarters, and you've just been buzzed.
Pleasure.